So I'm going to straight away head into, as promised, into a panel discussion that's going to warm up on the stage. That will talk about the impact of digital, disruption in the Indian manufacturing industry. That's how when I welcomed all of you in the afternoon and I said that how this disruption is sort of, as we are doing the mass manufacturing, it's taken over all over, right? So here we will talk with our discussants as to how we can really unlock the value, big data to smart data, from shop floor to top floor for smarter decision making. So some very, very important points to be learned therein as well. And yes, we'll talk about the AR, we'll talk about the blockchain, all with reference to Industry 4.0 and our manufacturing industry. So what's the wait for? Let's first rope in, ladies and gentlemen, our session moderator. I have to be sharp and quick and very warmly at the same time invite Shuvabrata Nandi, the partner from Bain and Company. Please welcome our moderator with due diligence and a good round of cheer, please. And with that, let's also keep up those applause, ladies and gentlemen. We are just, sort of 2 sessions away from our cocktails and dinner. So let's all have happy, chappy vibes, everybody. Hello and a warm welcome. Let's invite Anand Hadgaonkar, the Chief Information Officer, Asia Pacific from Whirlpool Corporation. Please welcome Anand with a good round of cheer. Let's also welcome Saurabh Gupta, the Group Chief Digital and Information Officer from Gujarat Fluorochemicals. Let's also keep clapping, ladies and gentlemen. You promised to be good audience and good clappers as well. Let's welcome Varun Chopra, the Chief Information Officer from Studs Accessories. Let's please welcome Anil Sharma, the Senior Director, Chief Technology Officer from PepsiCo India, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, and a very, very warm welcome to you, Anil. Let's also welcome Arpita Das, Director, IT, Kitchen and Bath and Digital Delivery from Kohler, India. Wow, this is one of those finest minds appearing on the stage, and it's not just every day. So let's value the moment and also invite Ranganathan Iyer, the Group Chief Information Officer from JBM Group. Well, on that note, Mr. Nandi, we'll request you to please take charge. All right.
Thank you so much. We'll wait.
Hi, ma'am, and a very warm welcome to you as well. Thank you. Over to the panel. Let's welcome them once again with a good round of cheer. Thank you.
I think maybe we can start with a round of introductions because, just keep it, keeping the time in mind, let's keep it short and quick. I can start. I'm Shuvabrata Nandi, partner with Bain and Company. I look at our technology practices and also personally very interested in smart manufacturing and manufacturing IT overall. So very, very happy to be here.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Saurabh Gupta, Group Chief Digital and Information Officer from Gujarat Fluorochemicals. That's about me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anand Hadgaonkar. I work with Whirlpool Corporation as the CIO for Asia Pacific region.
Hello, good evening everyone. This is Anil Sharma. I'm Chief Technology Officer for AMESA in PepsiCo. AMESA is Africa, Middle East and South Asian countries. Thank you.
Good evening everyone. I'm Varun Chopra, CIO Studs Accessories Limited. We are the world's largest helmet manufacturer. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, we Ranganathan Iyer from JBM. We are into auto space.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Arpita Das. I am the Director IT for Kohler Kitchen and Bath India, Middle East and Africa, as well as I'm also heading the Global Delivery Center, which is a captive center for global Kohler for all the business lines. Happy to be here.
Thank you, everyone. So I think, one thing that I was thinking as I was chatting with some of you and looking and hearing the presentation that's going on is as we think of, digital in manufacturing, maybe let's start with, there is a lot that has been said and a lot that have been told, but what are the major challenges that you guys are seeing as you are going through this journey, especially in the last couple of years? It has picked up pace, and a lot is happening, since COVID. But what are the major challenges that you see as you go through this, digital transformation of manufacturing in your respective orgs?
So, Mr. Nandi, my point of view over here is my organization is into now an expansion mode, okay, and with the digital transformation, so it's across the value chain. No, so not only on the ERP side, but also on making the smart factories, Industry 4.0. Okay, and especially on the Industry 4.0, okay, the wherein I see a big hurdle, and that is specific that, okay, I have multiple sites. Okay, one is a 30 years old site, second one is a 10 years old site, and now the third one is a new site which is getting built up. I have to define a digital transformation strategy or a digital strategy which is common across the organization. Okay. And now the investment what we have done maybe in past, which has been refreshed, okay, maybe 10 years before, and the new investments that we are making, so I have to make the technology, put up solutions which is technology agnostic, but with the OEMs not able to support for the upgrade or with the integrations with the latest technology. That is something I see as a major bottleneck in my case.
So mostly on the factory side in terms of
OT side.
OT
Yeah,
side.
OT side.
Understood. Anand?
Yeah. If I extend further, I mean, definitely what you said is right from a perspective of OT side as well as on the factory. When you look at it going one step forward, I mean, there are technologies that you have deployed to get a lot of information from all the OT devices by getting them connected together. So what I see is that there is data everywhere. I mean, we speak about big data, right? I mean, big data is pretty much a buzzword, but a reality as well. I mean, you look at the amount of data that gets put in and captured in the manufacturing systems, just huge. I mean, tons of data getting captured. How do we convert that into a smart data is a key challenge that I really see as a continuum in terms of working through different ways, modes, and means to really get that utilized to make meaningful decisions. You do that one step, and then you realize that, okay, fine, this is not enough. You have a lot more opportunity than what you have actually solved for this point of time. And that's where I see that the key challenge that is to be added up on the data getting converted from big data to smart data.
Yeah, so you're talking of the data to insights journey there, and probably in your sort of organization, it's not only on the manufacturing side of things, but also on all the devices that are with the consumers, the services of those. So, I mean, you could like sort of create as much data as you want, but you need to know what to do with it.
Absolutely right. I mean, I think with the products that we manufacture, there are opportunities on the consumer end as well. But since our topic today is more on Industry 4.0 and manufacturing, I was more relating it to the manufacturing data because again, the opportunities on IoT is everywhere. There are areas wherein progress has been made to a great extent in all of the products that you really want to capture data on a real-time basis. Some you capture it on the device itself. Some you are able to pull that into the cloud. Some you are able to really analyze and also take out meaningful insights from that as well. So there are different phases in which this data is there. And the moment you name it in terms of the function, you will see that tons of data being available to us.
Go ahead.
So since you're talking about challenge, I will talk challenge only. The first challenge is the dollar.
Okay.
You need a lot of investment, for doing all manufacturing 4.2 or 5.2, whatever you talk about. So that is one the first challenge. The second challenge is OT, which we call it, is the most discarded area from information system, tools, technology perspective. And when I say discarded means most of the organization, whether it is discrete manufacturing, process industry, whatever industry you are working in, you are heavily dependent on the OEMs to provide in the interface, the solution, the software, which connects with your, equipments. And most of the time, these systems from OEM are not running with the time. Basically, they may be obsolete, they may not be running on latest technology, latest platform, brings a lot of challenge from, vulnerability and, those prospects. So that is one area. Now, integrating that to generate meaningful data, you need a lot of interfaces, you need a lot of integration, and then means you are opening up more doors to your software. So the second challenge is interfacing, integrating disparate systems, working with different OEMs, to keep ensuring that, their tools, technology, solution which they are provided are running on, the latest platforms. So that is the second challenge. The third challenge is when you open too many doors, you invite external intruders to your organization, means security. The third biggest challenge is the security. We are talking automation, we are talking IoT, we are talking all those things, but how you are securing yourself, from the external world. I will not go into the detail, but there are a lot of companies where the manufacturing got impacted, stopped. I'm sure everyone must have read the news of Ames. Their systems stopped from last week or so. This is all because of, you have opened doors. So when you are opening doors, how you are protecting yourself, securing yourself from those unwanted elements so that, you can continue what you want to do. So these are the three things which I will say.
Okay.
For us, I think one thing COVID has done a good, I think maybe for all IT professionals is, I think digital need has gone up like never seen before. So one big challenge I would say as a CIO is, initially before COVID, we were saying that let's do this automation, that automation and all. Now we are just keeping quiet. We are getting so many automation needs. So handling basically the internal customers, I would say, is a big challenge right now, because we need to quickly deploy system, which has to be strong systems. So it should not be like today we deploy system, tomorrow we run into issues. So that is a big challenge. Second is the platform that we are choosing now. We expect they should work for 3 to 5 years at least. So the right choices of platform is important, because once the company invests money into it, so they don't want to reinvest. So again, that is another thing. Third thing is, I think one of the agenda points, which is also our priority, actually to bring shop floor to top floor, and also customers should be adjacent to us. So we are working to get all these things very close to the management. So like the data that shop floor sees, maybe their screen would be different, but same transparency would be management. So handling this change is a challenge. And I think lastly, I still see that while a lot of focus is in the automation, but I think cyber security, still I think it's not very much, I think now Ames things has happened. But again and again, informing the board about importance of that, especially that, I think that is another challenge. Yeah.
I just want to add one thing, he's still talking about informing the board for information security. Till the time we keep talking information security from IT perspective, we will never be able to improve. So board has to start taking interest, and they need to drive this as an agenda. Otherwise, we'll continue to have Ames kind of incident everywhere.
Couldn't agree more with that. Arpita, Ranganathan, maybe questions for you. We heard a bunch of challenges, but one thing that I thought would come up is the challenge with talent. How quickly can you deploy these systems? Manpower seems to be a big challenge. One of the reasons probably, in my mind at least, why OT gets the last visibility is also because it's very difficult to have trained manpower who can, do that integration between IT and OT. It's probably easier to do just IT or, in that sense. But thoughts, Arpita, Ranganathan, on, on people challenges and how are you addressing those?
It's a good question. I will try to answer in a different way. Being a manufacturing mindset kind of CIO, we have the habit of going for many M's: man, material, machine, etc., etc. The important thing is mindset. How it is different is manufacturing resources are nowadays more technology friendly. They have started becoming more technology friendly. That's number one. Number two, because of that, the load on the mindset of the IT kind of people also need to change. This is a very important criteria. Why? Because we have to understand what we can do with the available resources, number one. Number two, to make it happen, what are all the deliverable points with respect to business pain points which is getting resolved. Unless you map that, I will give a small example. We have a solar farm where we are doing we are generating power. We have IT-enabled maintenance available. Machine is talking about itself, and then it is trying to say, I am not well, please come and rectify me. It is giving, through SCADA, it is giving data. We have done it. But because of some storm, the dust has gone again, settled into that area. As per the process which has been configured, once in 15 days we are supposed to do the maintenance. The businesses started asking why system is not in a position to give because of thunderstorm, because of yesterday's data of power generation compared to today's, why it is not generating a request for maintenance again. See, so the mindset of we have to start thinking different, the whole set of people, because manufacturing has started thinking very different. They are coming much closer to IT, and it is time for us. That's number one. Number two, the resource crunch you were talking, it will be there for it was there, it is going to be there for future also. So we have to see how we are going to embrace the resources available with the ecosystem. Specifically, where you are not good at, try to take help from others. That is very crucial to get the solution deployed in a right way. Because of time, I am reduced. Other, I have 3 more cases which we can discuss later.
I would say, as you rightly said, resource, and as my other panelists did mention, that other challenges. But I think for any digital transformation, I mean, whether it is Industry 4.0 or something that we are doing for our customer experience, improving our customer experience, people, process, and technology in that order is something which drives the entire process. So definitely having the right skill sets and the right talent is imperative for any system to kind of bring in the value that the business has been looking at. So defining the organization's requirements, knowing what is the skill sets available and the talent that is there within the organization is very important when you're selecting a technology. I mean, there are so many new technologies which are out there, and as IT, we get excited about, why not this, why not that? But then you can't underestimate the people who are going to use it, the people who are going to decipher that data. As rightly said, smart data, I mean, how does big data become smart data? So it is how, as a end user, I'm interpreting the data is important. So of course, I think skill and talent is very, very important for any kind of digital transformation to be a success, whether, as you said, Industry 4 or anything else. And that's where, we as people who are enabling the businesses to do their business better, we need to be very cognizant of that. We can't put in a technology for the sake of putting a technology, but be very much aware how it is going to affect it, and look at those operational matrices which are low-hanging fruits, which gives confidence to both the frontline and the plant people or any other people to go ahead and be, people who kind of feel that, okay, digital transformation is actually helping us. So I guess, yes, people is the most important thing for me when it comes to a digital transformation.
No, I mean, follow on that, Arpita. I think, since you are talking about people, process, and tech, and I think most of us on this stage and the broader community is also sort of partly to blame with this shiny new toy approach that sometimes, CIOs and CTOs take to new tech. So as you think of looking forward, and we discuss challenges, but as you think of looking forward on deploying newer technologies in your business, relating to Industry 4.0 customer experience, it could be augmented reality or any of the new stuff that is coming up. How do you sort of envisage what's real, what's near term versus what's speculative?
Technology, if you see in automobile industry, it was there for years, to be very honest, because it is more, it has come much closer to us because of cost. People are started using it much more meaningful. For example, SCADA is there for more than 25 years. We are using it. Many of our machines are talking about itself. We take decision based on that. Not today. I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 years back. And remote maintenance. We used to send the data, collecting it from the machine and then to OEM, we were doing that. But how quickly, how predictive we are doing. That is an actual outcome-based thing which has really come up. That is very crucial for us. So having said that, the technology which we are trying to identify for future deployment, in many of the cases, in our auto manufacturing cases, some of the things are more meaningful without any expenditure done on that, because the data is available. We were not embracing the data. We were not doing the analytic over that. And we are in a position to take right decisions so that the machine uptime has increased and the so-called machine downtime, which we were not aware of, that also has come to visibility. So in that way, if you look into, this is balancing act we have to do. That I want to communicate. That's very important. It is not that we have technology, we should go for it. In our cases, 50% we consumed, and then next layer has come, and then we embraced it, right?
So thank you. So further adding to it, okay, I will cite two examples, okay, very recently what I have experienced. One is towards condition monitoring. Okay, so what I have experienced, and when we deployed certain sensors over the rotating equipments, okay, it started sending the data. Okay, and then when we asked after a month or so, okay, whether the thresholds what you have put up and now what the data what is coming is correct or not, with the central engineering team or the instrumentation team. So they started pulling their heads and then coming up that, okay, whatever the benchmark what they have made earlier, presuming that, okay, these are the standard threshold limits, and now with machine learning embedded over there in the platform, now after analyzing the data, it is questioning, and those data are now getting challenged with them. So, and what I have realized that yes, it is something a new area wherein the instrumentation team and the IT team needs to be working hand in hand. There is a skill set gap which we need to build up. Okay, and trust me, I am building up a team wherein I am not taking an IT guy to train up into OT. But I am taking an OT guy or instrumentation guy into IT. It will become easy for me to train him over here. Okay, because he has spent his life on the shop floor or working over there. So he knows the technology over there. So that is one strategically hiring or building up a skill set what I am doing. Another thing, okay, we are doing a lot, but one more thing I would like to share. With respect to AR and VR, okay, so we are investing into a virtual reality remote monitoring for our maintenance team, okay, wherein with the help of the helmet and the attached lens, Google Lens, they are getting supported by the engineers who are based out at US and China, and many of you would have invested into it. Maybe we are a bit late in this, but yes, as an industry we have realized, as an organization we have realized that yes, we have to invest, we have to, it's not only the IT side of it, but also the OT side of it, which needs to be leveraged out towards the digital transformation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think well said from that perspective. If I really look at the upcoming technologies, okay, we can very clearly see that technologies like RPA, machine learning, are here and now, where you are able to see, based on your use cases, immediate reflection on the payback. So if you put the investment, you are able to see that, okay, you are able to use that information and you are able to gain the business value out of it. When you look at the next level technologies, which is more on, if I look at blockchain, which is looking like it's there in the horizon, definitely going to come up in a way, but then it has got an evolvement need that comes up from the community perspective. So it has got some time to be given up by when you can really start getting the paybacks onto it. So it's a time for investment versus the time for realization. So the point that I wanted to bring in is that with these different technologies, you're able to very clearly see now that based on your use cases, what you can actually peg it for here and now versus long term.
Just to add on top of this, so I divide this whole technology into three buckets basically. The first bucket is, which is useful, like artificial intelligence, ML, that category basically. Maybe up to certain extent AR, VR, and COVID has taught us a lot of things, to use this technology. That is one. The second is the bucket of technology where, they will remain in maximum up to POC, POT kind of thing, but they may not be rolled out on mass basis. Third is, which is more on media, talked in media, and will continue to be in media. So, like metaverse, I don't know what practical use we will have that in industry, for example.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that yet. What we don't know, we don't know.
Yeah, correct. So, if I divide that, these are the three buckets. First bucket is making life easier and making automation, other things important, which is required for the industry and business. It is helping us in doing that. So, that is the three, things which, I will put in.
Okay. Important factor, one more, the three buckets which he was talking, either it has to eliminate the process, number one, or it should improve manpower or machine, or some improvement should be there, or it should improve the quality. If it is not there, either it should eliminate, it should improve, or it should have the impact on overall effectiveness of quality. In manufacturing, if it is there, you will get money, you can implement anything. If it's not within these three buckets, no deployment, not required.
One thing I want to add is like, while it is good to be aware of all technologies, but actually what I have realized is when you walk in the shop floor, if you take a complete from, let's say, where the raw material comes to assembly, and you go till where your warehouse is. In between you see same job being done in different manner, because obviously I think while they are most hardworking people, but in terms of skilling, they need a lot of training and all. So there is still lack of standardization. So our focus is make life easier for basically the shop floor people. And like for example, we did one use case. Like always there is an issue of where is my inventory lying? Where is my like finished goods there? So we did one traceability implementation. At any given point, if I want to track, while with the ERP I may know there are 500 helmets lying. But if I want to know that particular helmet is where, and that makes the life of my picker easier. So such kind of use cases, I think if we just look at the business, I think, so actually use case has to drive technology for the company rather than technology driving the use case. Yeah.
See, I don't know how many of you really know that the kind of businesses Kohler is in, and know in India we know bath and kitchen are the only two things that we do, but we also manufacture gensets, and we also have hospitality, and we have more than 35 odd factories running across the world. And when I say kitchen and bath, it means I need 3 different factories with producing 3 different things for one bathroom to come to shape. So I need to have a place where a vitreous or a ceramic thing gets produced, somewhere where my faucets gets produced, somewhere where plastic parts gets produced. And each of these things are very different. The machines are different, and in most of the cases, because we are operating for the last 150 years, they're very old. Some of our plants are like built long time back when there was no concept of an intelligent equipment to begin with. So our challenge was first to ensure that we get the data from these equipments back to a central place. So that was our first area where we started looking at. And of course, automation comes along with it. But in our process, or in one of our industries, one of the factories that we have, which is for vitreous, some of the things you cannot automate. There is a need for heavy manual intervention there, especially when you're working on the molds to create that kind of, bathrooms and fittings that we have. And Mr. Kohler is very much particular about the fact that, it is his surname which is there on every product. So quality is very important for us. There is no compromise on quality in Kohler. So that being said, we had to ensure that the quality of data that we were getting into our systems was right. So if you have to throw out a completely made, say, a jacuzzi thing, because there was small mistake, that is not something that you can tolerate. So our first challenge was to get the data out of those old machines. So we looked at a lot of, equipments that were there, a lot of other hardware that were there. And in my other role, which I wear within Kohler of leading the captive delivery center. So Smart Factory is one of the areas that my team in Pune does for Kohler across the globe. So we do look at all these things. We try and find out, however old the equipment is, how do we get the data out? How do we then interpret the data? And then how do we make it into a meaningful data, which can be of use by everybody? And then my third problem is also to ensure that anywhere in the globe a new plastic factory is set up, or there is a plastic factory, I do the automation in such a way that it is a template-based automation, so that the next factory, I can replicate the same thing, irrespective of what is the equipment that is there. So there are many things that we take into account when, when we do our roadmap in terms of what is short-term, near-term, and long-term.
Understood. Very interesting. Just probably, I think we are sort of running out of time. I just had one question to the panel. Is, Varun, you mentioned about like making it easy for the shop floor workers, making, training them to use this technology. As we move to like, more automation, it's like, how do you make the new tech work for the factory workers? Like any thoughts on that? Because that, in my mind, is a very important aspect of getting the IoT story right.
See, we are manufacturing bus. See, when resource is a problem. When a new resource is coming, when he is doing the job, at that time he should have all facilities how to do the work. Work instruction is available on his side. We have MES deployed. So work instruction is there, he has to see and do that. And there are cases where, for example, nut runner. There is a nut runner, it has to do a 35 torque. If he is not completing 35, system will stop. It will tell that person to do the job right. Till it does 35 as a torque, it will not let him remove that nut runner out from that tightening the nut. So, bottom line, it has to help the end user so that he is doing the work right. Then only it is possible for it to get the success.
Just to add further on this, I'm working on a situation wherein I'm being looking on digitizing the work permit system. Okay, I look to and for the shop floor people especially, and I looked on some digital platforms like in SAP EHS system, and then I was again questioned that okay, don't only look from a tech perspective or a process perspective, but also look further behind the risk assessment perspective. Okay, and then I realized that okay, the manufacturing leaders are looking for a system which is going to use a machine learning algorithm, okay, to help the shop floor people that when they are doing a lotto, okay, or a hot permit, okay, the system has embedded knowledge or with the past data with the industry trends, okay, he can identify that, okay, what are the risks associated with that permit. So these are certain expectations what I am realizing, and it's an eye-opener for me. Okay, maybe I don't have an answer right now, but this is something a food for thought for me. But just to keep it short, yeah, the expectations are high.
One thing I want to add is when doing a project, I think first of all, project is planned by people sitting in the office. So when we start implementation, I think it's very important to actually involve some of the people. Maybe for him, actually, it makes a difference. Maybe in shop floor and all, because I have realized whenever you deploy a system, they will bring some nuances, or if I maybe use a word, jugaad, and they also know how to beat that jugaad. So I think once we involve them, maybe while deploying, doing the testing, preparing the requirements, I think because then we think from their mindset also. So then I think they are also encouraged to make their people, their all peers and all trained. So I think involving the last person who is going to use the product is, I think, very important for easy learning. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we should conclude the discussion here. Thank you so much for your time and great talking to all of you.